Hey, what's up, listener / viewer? Welcome to the 2016 Geek TV Awards.
Geek Boner.
In collaboration with the Jock and Nerd podcast and a place to hang your cape. Let's get it going.
It's the Jock and Nerd podcast with your hosts, Anthony and Imran.
Jock and Nerd.
Hi-yo, listener. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a very exciting show. Joining us all the way from across the pond, from a country that was formerly part of the European Union, David Molofsky, editor-in-chief of A Place to Hang Your Cape, a great website. What's up, David? Good earth to you. How's it going?
Good earth to you, Imran.
I hope once
what am I, chopped liver? I'm sitting over here right now.
Rugboy does that. Rugboy does that too. He just started making sure to say good earth to both of us. He'd be like, good earth to you, Imran, and you too, Anthony. And he's just like throw it in after the fact. Welcome to the show, gang. Welcome, David. David's on today because this wonderful website, A Place to Hang Your Cape, where we've had a relationship with UD for a month. You carry our show. You've got lots of great interviews, articles, wonderful stuff. You've decided to do, I think this is the second year.
It's the second annual Geek TV Show Awards.
I love it. It's a great time. You know, the season's ended like a month and a half ago. So it's a good time to kind of refresh, look at the season as a whole. And what a great way then to like pick our favorites. Anthony, what are you excited for looking back at this season of comic book television?
Yeah, I mean, we did something kind of similar last year, but this is a lot more extensive and a lot more work that we didn't have to do. So I'm all for it. When I don't have to do work and I can just talk, that's great.
Wowie zowie!
That is the Jock and Nerd podcast at its finest.
That is the true Jock and Nerd way. We show up, somebody else talks, I just hit record. But look, David, you did a lot of great work. You're right. How did the vote go? Why don't you start tell the listener a little bit about Place to Hang Your Cape and how these votes is set up and how it got started?
So A Place to Hang Your Cape is a superhero and comic book site. And one of the things that we do is weekly episodic reviews of TV, just like you guys. We just write them as articles. So we review every show that you guys talk about, plus a whole bunch more.
That you do a lot more work.
Yeah, I have a lot more people.
That's true.
So last year we decided to start doing these TV show awards because we had so many shows. We figured let's celebrate them. And then this year we did it, and it was really successful this year. We had 10 times as many votes as last year.
Right on.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, we plugged it on the show a couple episodes ago, and I was retweeting it, and I voted on some of them. Now, we have not necessarily watched all the shows that are up for awards, but that's fine. The genre TV land is huge, and it's just growing, which is crazy. It's almost hard to keep up with everything.
We could have just lied and made it seem like we watched all these shows.
That's a good show. Yeah, I love that. What's that one? Yeah, that one's good. Yeah. That one guy on that one, when that one
Lucifer, that one's awesome.
That was great. It's about a guy named Lucy. No, it's not. So let's start out. David, tell us what shows were considered during this nomination process.
So I think we had, I don't actually know the number. So we had Agent Carter Season 2, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Daredevil Season 2, Jessica Jones Season 1, Arrow Season 4, Flash Season 2, Gotham Season 2, Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Lucifer Season 1, Supergirl Season 1, Doctor Who Season 9, iZombie Season 2, Supernatural Season 11, and The Walking Dead Season 6.
Damn,
those are all a lot of fucking shows.
That's 14 shows, and all good stuff. But man, like next year, this is gonna be probably a third bigger if you think about all the stuff that's already out with The Preacher
next year.
I'm really excited for Mr. Robot starting in July. That show is awesome. But that's the nominated shows. We've watched most of them. Now, how did you figure out what categories to get people to vote in?
So I made most of the categories up last year, but it's just we wanted to have fun with them, and we wanted to have fun with the titles. So we didn't want to do just like best actor or like things that they do with the Oscars, like
Right.
best set design or whatever. So we wanted to do something that like
Who's
did the
Oscar?
Damn, screw Oscar. He's an asshole.
So
He lives in a trash can. Of course, he's a grouch.
He's a Rugboy's neighbor. Yes.
Fantastic.
Sorry.
So I won't go through all the categories before we start, but like some of
No.
them we wanted to do like biggest oh shit moment.
Yes.
So that
that's
was
what-
like a fun,
I feel like we had a part of that. Come on.
just a little bit.
Yes. All right, look, gang. Screw the EGOT, screw the Emmys and the Oscars and the Tonys. We got our very own award show going right here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
play a little
screw me,
sweeper.
please, ladies.
Let's screw Tony. Let's get it going.
Jock and Nerd.
All right, D. Let's start out with the first category. We have
All right.
up is best costume.
All right, so I'm going to go through these and I'll read the nominees in the order from least amount of votes to most votes.
All righty.
So for best costume, in 5th place, we had Hawkgirl.
Oh, let's see. You know what? You should read. Should we have him read all the nominations, or you just want to go down
Let me.
from least to first? Let's try that with this first one.
Let him do
Okay.
how he wants to
Okay.
do it, you asshole.
I'm just saying. I wanted to know the nominees
Okay.
before I find out the results.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, okay, so
sure.
do that.
Let me do
Read
it
the
for this one.
nominees. Yeah, let's do it your way. Because like I
Okay,
think we
ready?
should establish all the nominees, and then you can tell us who came in last and who came in first.
Okay, so I'll just go down the list and read them, and then okay. So we had Daisy from Agents of Shield, Hive from Agents of Shield, the Punisher from Daredevil, Hawkgirl from Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, and Green Arrow from
Arrow. Hey.
From Arrow. All right.
Yeah, I
great.
think that's gonna work better, Dave.
Right? That makes more sense now. So, and I'll put links to all this in the show notes, listener, for you so you can follow along. But those are your nominees for best costume. Coming in 5th place, David. Hawkgirl, you said, right?
Hawkgirl came in 5th place. In 4th place, we had Green Arrow, followed by Punisher, and then Hive. And 1st place was Daisy for Agents of
Daisy?
Shield.
Really?
Daisy?
By a huge margin, it was Daisy.
I
Is it
think
because she's just super hot?
she looks great in the
It
suit.
must be.
I mean,
the suit is basically Black Widow's.
yeah, with her gauntlets, with her
The
special
gauntlets.
like Quake gauntlets. It's a black
Yeah.
sleek suit. You know, she's got the belt. It's form fitting.
But out of those contestants, I can't necessarily argue against anything else.
No, Hive's jacket was very Matrix. Like it looked cool. It was very Matrixy.
The way he
Pun-
used it was very Matrixy.
yeah, even with the
The way, like, he
swishing.
swung around.
Yeah, the swishing of the tail. Punisher, I feel, would have maybe ranked higher had we seen him in a skull thing earlier. You know, you saw that for like 30 seconds in the last episode
Right.
of the last
Yeah.
season. Hawkgirl should be 5th or costume, whatever. I mean, it's kind of faithful, but the character overall, I don't want her to win that. It just ruins the costume.
I think it's just Chloe Benet in a form-fitting outfit is great.
There must be a lot of dudes voting because the chicks didn't vote for Stephen Amell in the nice Arrow.
Have you been to a comic book store? Have you seen a girl working there? Of course, it's all dudes voting.
David, you got any women? You got some women on your staff there, right?
Actually, the our junior sidekick Celia is a girl.
There you go.
Our junior sidekick,
So
Celia.
she's
by the
actually
way,
the one who put all this together. Sorry.
You were like our junior sidekick, Celia. Well, she's a girl.
That's it. The one.
Yeah.
You
I don't know how
got
to
one-
say.
You know what? I would have thought she was a man if he would have told me just her name, Celia. That's got to be a dude.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's
Look, this is good.
but look, at least you got some female representation over at ap2hyc.com.
Yeah,
All right.
For one of the
Yeah.
categories, I'll get
Well,
into
congrats-
it later. I think
congrats
there's a
to-
lot of female voters.
Oh, there you go. Congrats to Daisy Johnson, aka Chloe Benet, for filling out that outfit.
Quake.
Geek boner.
Quake.
All right, let's get to the next category. D.
All right, so the next one was Breakout Star.
So
this
ooh,
was-
star.
Within the genre specifically, who like really broke out and we thought was like, big actor.
Is this usually
is
someone
gonna
like
go-
unknown, right? That they're gonna.
Yeah, relatively unknown, and we
Okay.
think that it's like I think last year it was Charlie Cox won because
Okay.
no one
Yeah.
knew who he was for Daredevil.
So who are the nominees for Best Breakout Star 2016?
So this year we have John Bernthal as the Punisher,
Yes.
Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, Elodie Young as Elektra, Natalia Cordova Buckley as Yo-Yo,
Yo-Yo.
and Lot Verbeek, who was Mrs. Jarvis.
This is a tough one.
This is a good group of relatively new stars. And I don't know. I'm just looking at this list, at this cast. They're all really good.
Yeah, this was much closer than the last one. The last one was, I think it was over 150 votes difference. This was a 10 vote difference.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
All right, who comes in coming in number 5?
In number 5 was Elodie Young as Elektra.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Then Lot Verbeek is Mrs. Jarvis.
Okay.
Number 3 was John Berthal's Punisher.
Whoa.
Number
All right.
2 was Kristen Ritter.
Oh shit! Are you telling me Yo-Yo won this fucking thing?
Oh,
And the thing about this one, Kristen Ritter actually retweeted the link to this, and she
What?
still didn't win. Yeah.
Wait. Kristen Ritter actually retweeted a link to this category and couldn't pull a win away from Yo-Yo. Wow.
What?
That was crazy.
That's awesome.
That
she
is insane.
Dude, how'd you get Ritter to retweet that? That's awesome.
Shut up. I don't care about that. How did Yo-Yo just win? She was in like 3 episodes.
She was in a lot. She was in a few more than that, but I think it's just like
Sorry.
honestly, I can't really explain it. Like,
I would have thought it would have been Kristen Ritter or John Bernthal, and then Elodie Young would have finished 3rd, and that's not how that turned out.
yeah, I feel like Lot Verbeek could have easily been like the wild card.
Yeah.
'Cause I think she was just like a really solid character that whole season, and it's like
Yeah.
she been built up in the background of the last season. But
I mean,
Yo-Yo, wow.
you know what? I also noticed while doing the votes that a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff was trending really high. It was very popular across the board.
yeah, I think so. Part of that, I think, is because Celia, who has said she put together all the nominees and she was like collating the whole thing. So whenever we had a few extra, the show that she loves is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think she kind of slipped a few extra nominees.
Oh,
for
they're
each
heavy
category,
Agents of
so-
S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, Yo-Yo was cute with Mac, and she was kind of
Yeah.
badass, and you thought she was gonna die at the end for a long time with that misdirect, but
I got to say, shame on you fans for fucking
Wow.
voting for that. That is awful.
I mean, how do you?
It was pretty forgettable, dude. I mean, oh my god.
Here's the thing: she beat out the lead of Jessica Jones. That was an
Yeah.
the amazing performance. And you're right, Yo-Yo was in maybe like 3 or 4 episodes.
I mean, yeah,
Wow,
she was in more, but wow. All right. Well,
I
hey,
mean,
the
like I
fans
said before,
decided.
this one was close, but
Yeah.
she
in
pulled it
terms
out.
of, I mean, and if you really want to get picky, like breakout star, like Kristen Ritter is. I mean, the other girl's more unknown than Ritter.
Yeah, right. If you're looking, I guess if you're using that criteria, then maybe
Because maybe
I could justify it.
Ritter needs to win the other category.
Well, Kristen
more.
Ritter and John Bernthal are like pseudo stars already, so
Right,
maybe if you're using
right.
that criteria.
I mean, Ritter's already headlined her own show. She had
yeah.
Bitch in Apartment 23.
Yeah, and then Bernthal's been in Walking Dead for
Yeah.
2
Right.
seasons.
So okay, all right, maybe. All right, let's move on to the next one. What's the next?
All right.
category?
Surprises are in store. This is
All right,
great.
this is great. I'm already shocked.
I was surprised by almost every single category. I
Right.
had.
Oh my god, I might have a heart attack by the end of this.
He's not gonna make it.
So the next category was a new one we started this year. It's called the most out of this world character.
Woo.
So this was for like specifically 1, maybe 2 episode characters, and ones that just sort of like came in and were like, we thought that so many of these shows had just like crazy out of this world characters. So I'll read down the list. I think it'll make a bit more sense. So we had Hive, although we were specifically talking about when he had his face on.
Yeah,
It was Medusa.
tentacle hive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kree, also from
Okay.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Constantine, when he came onto Arrow.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Future Ollie in Legends of Tomorrow.
Ah,
Nice.
Reverb in Flash.
Okay.
The White Martian in Supergirl.
yes.
Vixen in Arrow. And King Shark in The
Oh, this is
Flash.
great.
This is a great. I love that you have King Shark in there. That's the best.
I
mean,
had
you
to
got-
put him in.
So look, you have monsters going up against future versions, going up against aliens, going up against metahumans, going up against the magician. Like, this is fantastic. It's a hard one.
All right. I'm just going to say, first of all, I was really rooting for King Shark because even in his first appearance, I thought, like, it was like they spent so much money on that, like, one shot. And it was so worth it for that laugh. Like, it was just such a good moment. But
this is a tough one. I don't know. I don't
know how this is going to shake out. I couldn't tell you just off the top, so I'm very curious.
All right, let's start with the bottom. Who came in last?
So in joint 5th place.
Oh, it's a tie.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ties in this category, actually. It was all ties except for 2 and the winner.
Jeez, okay.
So in joint last place, we had the White Martian and the Kree.
Okay, so the aliens come in last. All right.
Came in last. Followed by in joint 4th place, we had Vixen and Reverb.
The kind of the metahumans paired together, both from the CW verse. All right.
And then in joint 3rd place, we had Future Ollie and King Shark.
Oh, King Shark.
That's weird. Okay. Future Ollie is cool too.
Yeah. I thought Future Ollie was just really cool because it's like the Dark Knight stuff, the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, it's a great little Easter egg, great little nod to that.
So number 2 was Constantine putting Hideout and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again takes the category.
Oh, Jesus. So Hive wins. And
I guess I can't really argue. Hive, when he became Medusa, looked fucking out of this world.
And I mean, that's literally out of this world. I mean, he's from Maveth. And we want to, although
I feel like constant. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it just looked a lot like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. Was not my only issue.
Yeah.
I didn't remember. Yeah, I forgot about that. But Constantine being number 2 for me is like, yeah, he's kind of like, he's magic, but I feel like the other characters are so far out of this world compared to
King Shark was like, I would put King Shark.
King Shark has got to be up there, yeah. But he was what, 3?
That's what I was saying. He was, 3, right? In joint 3rd place.
Huh. I would love for them to do King Shark, and we actually get to meet him, like learn about his personality.
We did.
We did.
We had a whole episode about him. Me and you talked about it.
Was he? Did he have dialogue? I don't remember.
Yes.
I knew I was gonna forget shit. It was so long ago. So many episodes. All right.
It was the one where Diggle and his wife go to Flash.
Oh, and they go over there. Okay. I might have to watch that again. All right. Well, I want more King Shark.
Yeah, me too, man. The story behind that one, just like apparently they took the special effects budget from 2 episodes just to make that 30-second shot.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they decided to bring him back into a whole episode.
Yeah, that was a whole nother story.
Oh wait, now I remember that we had the CGI was all the CGI was all over the place, and he was running across water, and King Shark
was swimming in water.
That was fucking awesome. Yes, that was a great episode. Okay, it's coming back to me. This is gonna happen throughout as we go on because it's been a while. Like I said, what did we talk about? Like 151 episodes in the 100 episodes. That's a lot of shit. All right.
Yeah.
Next,
more than 100.
Individual episodes. Yeah, no, it was definitely more overall since the show started. So that's a lot to like. And as soon as it's over, I just kind of shove it out of my head and make room for new stuff. Next category, David.
All right. So this was the biggest oh shit moment. So the biggest twist.
Biggest plot.
Okay.
That makes you go, oh shit.
Let me give you this.
Oh shit.
With the horns.
Yeah. So this category, there was actually one show that I wanted to add after the fact, but I didn't watch the episode where this happened until too late to actually get it into nominee.
What was that one?
I would just want to give a runner-up shout out to iZombie.
Okay.
I don't know if either of you guys even watch it?
I've not been following.
Not anymore.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I saw the first episode. That was it.
Yeah. The first season ramps up really nicely. Like once it gets to the end, it really is starting to catch. And the second season had like a little bit of a lull in the middle, but then the back half of the season just had like, moment after moment after moment that I was like, what's gonna happen next? Oh my god! Like like just freaking out about it.
Yeah.
So one of those moments, and I don't want to spoil it, but it involves the main character stabbing herself.
Right.
So if anyone's seen it in the new season, that moment, I was actually standing up from my couch going, "Oh shit! What the fuck are they gonna do now? Where are they gonna take this?
So zombie girl stabs herself. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who do we got? Who do we have as nominees for biggest plot twist?
So we have 4 nominees in this category. So we had Daisy being the one who was swayed by Hive.
Ah, yeah.
That reveal. The reveal that Jay Garrick is Zoom.
Okay.
The Glenn fake out from Walking Dead. And the Man in the Iron Mask reveal from Flash.
Wow,
right.
4 great big moments from this past season. Let's start with number 4. Who came in? And then we'll talk about it a little bit.
No, you
So
know what?
we-
Fuck it. Let's start with number 2.
What?
Start with number 2.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's trying to throw everything up.
Well, we have
Let's
to join
go.
third place.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, let's start with number 4," like as if we've not been doing that the past 3 times. No, what? Fuck it. Let's switch. Let's go with 2,
Fuck
then
it, let's-
4, then 3, then 1. No.
And
fuck
then
it.
tell me the 6th place.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, guys.
It's so early, Anthony can't help but be an asshole. That's what it is. It's too early. It's my bedhead.
It's so funny because I've had like my whole day.
Yeah.
It's like 5:30 p.m. for him, and I literally just woke up like an hour ago.
Me
So
too. Go ahead.
All right. So in joint third place, we had both moments from The Flash,
Okay.
Oh, Zoom
Zoom, and the Man in the Iron Man.
Mask. Really? Those came out even.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I gotta say, I thought that Zoom was gonna be at least higher than the other moment.
Yeah, I felt like the Zoom moment, especially because that one came first, was a big moment. Whereas the second one was a surprise, but like you knew you were ready for a surprise by that point.
It was also like you guys called it when it happened, like before it happened.
Right.
So yeah, it became weak because they did, but the Zoom thing to me was like every week I was like, "This is messed up. Who is this?" And then,
well, they did a good job too with the kind of the swerve or where it was like Jay Garrick of Earth 1 was Hunter Zolomon. So then you kind of were led off the trail, and then
the way they set that up was amazing because it was driving me crazy, and there were so many variables. But by the end, you kind of knew who the Iron Mask guy was.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's tied. Who's that? Who came in next?
So in second place we had Glenn, the fake out from Walking Dead, which I don't actually watch it yet, but I know you guys talked about it a lot.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
We watch the Game of Thrones, so we're even. Do you watch Game of Thrones, David?
I don't. I've met a lot of the cast, but I don't watch it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's cool that you met the cast because I guess they're all over there.
So then that leaves number 1 being
Daisy being the one who was swayed.
Another Shield.
Man,
Yeah.
Shield is killing it.
Shield did very, very well in these.
So look, if you listen to the show regarding the Glenn moment, when it happened, it was definitely a huge oh shit moment. But where in the season it happened, and the kind of leaving it out there in the open kind of ruined it ultimately.
I think we've had this other guy, Mr. Do-Right, on the show.
Yes. He put it best.
He was the only one. No, he was the only one that actually believed it was a real thing.
That's
Whereas me and you, and I think Rugboy were all kind of skeptical. So I like the number 1 choice of Daisy because that one I definitely didn't see coming.
Yeah, I mean, within the framework of that episode, they really did build it up well because you had no idea who it was, and she was almost the one that you thought from the beginning it couldn't possibly be.
Right. Yeah, they were handing around that gold chain or whatever, that cross.
No, that was later.
Was that later?
Yeah, that was later for
cross in the last episode. This was when
that's right.
First revealed that she's the one who's under Hive's control.
See, I forget things too.
See, it's been a long time, but dude, you're right because that came out of nowhere, and then the series for me got instantly more like addictive because I was like, wow, I have no idea. I didn't think the last person you think, I have no idea where this is gonna go. They can't kill Daisy. What's gonna happen? And it was really badass and creepy. Like their relationship became really, really creepy.
Yeah, especially towards the end when she was out of his control.
Yes.
That got weird.
She was addicted to him. All right. Okay, man. Shield continues to dominate. Next category, David.
All right. So this category, there were only 2 shows nominated, but there are 4 nominees.
Okay.
And this is for Best Fight.
Yes.
So I think next year when we do this one, we might change it to best fight choreography, because we always have a lot of trouble getting good nominations for this, because I feel like there were a few scenes in like Arrow and Flash that like I wrote down because I thought they were good fight scenes, but then I forgot about them by the time these rolled around.
Sure.
I agree. I think Arrow had one or two really nice early on. I mean, in between all the wildly shooting and nobody getting hurt and the other silly choreography. And there's used to be really good, like a solid all season.
Yeah, but I feel like some of the fights this year were on Arrow, especially, were like just totally like just shit. Like you could tell that they weren't even hitting each other.
I gotta agree with you, David. Like I remember watching some of these Arrow fight scenes, and I'm like, this is just ballet. Like there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing going on here.
They must have got a different guy or something.
I think they've just fallen into a rut. I mean, it's been 4 seasons, and they kind of do the same fight scene over and over and over.
They really do.
They do that wide shot where he's fighting like 4 people at the same time, and you can tell it's not Stephen Amell. And
it's all like they're spinning, and everyone just falls down, and all that horse shit. I hate that shit.
But even like the moment at the end when it was like him fighting Dark, like that big climactic battle, it just felt really anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like we've seen them fight each other before, and it just felt like
that was weird. Like
felt like the same as the Ra's al Ghul fight last year.
It was weird too because like, not to go on too much of a tangent, but that fight scene, I remember watching it, and they were at one point they were just like throwing haymakers at each other. And I'm like, Stephen Amell's character Arrow is like this like. He can do more than just throw punches. Like they were just like literally winging, like taking turns winging punches on each other. It was really strange.
Because look at that moment, Damien Dark was depowered, right? For a second, fucking Oliver should have just one punch, done. He should. It should not have taken that long.
Yeah, but he's still a member of the League of Assassins, so you know, or former member, whatever. Anyway, let me get to the real.
Get to the real shit.
Who are the nominees?
The nominees are Hive versus Daisy in the Shield season finale.
Okay.
The Daredevil hallway fight scene, the stairwell fight scene.
Yep.
In episode 3. The Hydra Fight Club when Hunter and May went to try to infiltrate Hydra. And
I remember that. That was early in the season, yeah.
Yeah, it was really early on. And then the Punisher fight scene when he's in prison and the guys are coming to shank him.
Yeah.
He fights them all off.
That's good. These are good candidates.
Number 4's got to be the Fight Club scene with Hunter, right? I'm just gonna start. Okay, I'm just gonna take it.
Just to start it off. Yeah,
that's number 4. Good. I'm glad that one makes sense. Now I don't know what happens.
So this was another really close category. So in third place by 1 vote, we had the Punisher fight scene.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
And then the other Daredevil fight scene was number 2, putting Hive and Daisy as number 1, which honestly, I just rewatched these 2 scenes and I don't understand this. I just don't understand it.
I mean, it was a solid fight scene with the powers and all that, but the 2 from Daredevil, either one of those could have easily won and are much more intricate fight choreography.
Yes, in terms of choreography, production level, the brutality you can get away with compared to network TV, and just like the one shot. The Daisy versus Hive was brutal, but man, one of the Daredevils should have taken the top spot.
Like I just watched these scenes this afternoon, and it was just like. The one with Hive and Daisy, it's a really good fight, and like the way that she's using her powers to like boost her punches and stuff is really clever, and it's probably one of the best fights we've seen on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It still doesn't hold a candle to that fight scene from Daredevil, even last year's fight scene from Daredevil.
No, I mean emotionally, maybe it's a bigger payoff with the Daisy fight scene because of what they had gone through, and you kind of did want to see Daisy just fucking take Hive down like the whole time, but. Jesus, and I don't know between the 2 Daredevil fight scenes, which one they were both really good.
Yeah, they were both really good in their own ways.
To me, the Punisher one was just more viscerally, graphically violent. To where I think I had to look away at one point. I was like, "Oh, he just right in the neck. Oh, that's
because you're a pussy.
I am a pussy. It's sometimes these things disturb me, and I'm like, I don't feel good."
David, I mean, we're like halfway through, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, roughly.
Do you think just at this halfway point, let's say roughly, it's just because S.H.I.E.L.D. has such a great fan base or like such a wide fan base compared to like the Netflix stuff, like it's just been exposed to more people that maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. is dominating?
Yeah,
I think
honestly,
Shield has the highest ratings out of any of these shows that
it's
are
true.
in this. Even though Shield
bearing
doesn't
in mind
kill
that the
it.
Netflix shows don't have ratings.
Right. So we
Plus,
don't
you have
know.
to-
Yeah, fair enough.
And you-
I totally agree. I think a lot of what happened this season with Agents of Shield is that like Flash and Arrow were solid this year,
Yeah.
but they didn't improve at all from last year. I felt like both of those shows, what they did last year was pretty much the same effort and same quality they put out this year.
Yeah.
With Agents of Shield, they really stepped it up. Like I would have given season 2 of Shield like a 5, and this year's season Shield at least a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
That's a good point about the ratings. Plus, you have to pay to watch Daredevil and Jessica Jones, so you're cutting out a whole audience right there. The rest of the shit is free, and with the fluidity of the Marvel universe, it's kind of fun to see how they could do that into Agents of Shield, and that they were able to really step it up a notch. And
I think another factor too is the binge watching nature of like any of the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
You watch all that stuff and then it's in and it's out of your memory. Whereas if you're watching this stuff weekly, it's kind of in your memory every week for a
longer relationship with these
exactly.
characters instead of just one big 13-hour chunk. And then, I mean, who's going to go back and watch
But
that?
you know what? The fans have decided. So,
man,
Saying
Agents of
that,
Shield
though,
killing it. What's that?
I mean, saying what you just said about like the week-to-week stuff last year, Daredevil won, I think, 9 out of 12 categories.
Wow.
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. There is no correct theory to the why people.
No, there isn't. Although that may be why, because Agents of Shield maybe was weak, and Daredevil again was the first. Is the first Netflix Marvel thing. Nobody did not know what to expect, and it blew away everyone's expectations. And even they got a second season, it's not going to be the same feeling as like the very first time we guys did this. Okay, that was a good one. Right. Let's move on. What we got next?
So this was one of my favorite categories. So this is best death. So all the moments that are in this couldn't have been in the biggest oh shit moment category, but some of these I think were some of the biggest oh shit moments as well. So on the list we have We Don't Know from The Walking Dead.
The death of unknown, death of the viewer, and possibly the fans' interest in the show.
Which was a pretty good death. I've actually watched the clip. Then we had The Walking Dead. We had Kilgrave and Jessica Jones. We had Elektra, although whether or not she actually died is up for debate.
Right.
We had Lincoln and Grant Ward.
Yep, Agents of Shield. Okay.
Although I think I'll get to this later. We had Earth 2 Joe West.
The singing Joe. Yeah,
singing Joe West. Henry Allen and Laurel Lance.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's a good group again.
I think was the biggest category as well.
Yeah, this is good. These are all tough choices here.
Alrighty.
I like unknown though. That's good.
Unknown. Yeah. The death of I still think it's the death of the show. Maybe they don't fucking fix this. Did you hear they filmed 11 deaths just to throw people off like a bunch of monkeys? What are you doing? Yeah, you should have just showed us who it was. All right, who came in last there?
Anyway. So in last place we had Singing Joe West.
Okay, that's good. I'll buy that. It was a good death because like he's an amazing actor. You got to see Joe die, and you're like, I know it's not the real Joe, but God, this is really sad.
But I think it also like a lot of these other deaths, that one didn't have any real emotional resonance with the character. Like it was like it didn't happen.
Pretty much, it didn't. I mean, it affected Barry a little bit, but it was like that's not even your Joe, dude. What are you doing? All right, next. So
in 7th place was Elektra, and I think it's basically the same thing, that she may not have actually died, and it's almost like it didn't happen.
Yeah, right, I can see that.
Yeah.
So in 6th place we have The Walking Dead.
Okay, we're still a little salty. If you guys listen to the show, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Just salty. Well done, but not done.
No, not well done. What are you talking about? Well done, but not well done. What does that mean?
It means it was shot well, performed well, executed well, but the whole thing, it was the wrong way to do it. Because I love Negan's introduction, and you were scared of him right away. You're like, oh, this motherfucker is not mess around. Look at that bad. So
I also think, and again, I don't watch the show, but if you do a big fake out for a major character, like with Glenn,
Yeah,
halfway through the
you
season,
can't
and
do
then
it
you
again.
end on another big someone died. It doesn't have the
Tough.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't even
like-
need
Tough
to
to
watch.
do. Tough to do the swerve twice in one season like that.
Yeah, exactly.
See, D,
Some
you
sort
nailed
of
it. You don't even need to watch the show to know that you guys fucked up with the Glenn death.
All right, so at number 5 we had the death of Henry Allen
Okay.
in Flash. Although I thought like that moment, I was like, I thought that was a big moment and a really good one.
Huge.
By Jay Garrick Zoom.
I'll just say I'll defend its spot just because he was gone all season, so that when he came back, it was like they must not have the money to keep this guy around or something like that. So something's
Yeah.
gonna happen. It was a weird that he was out of jail and then just gone all season.
Yeah.
That whole thing was kind of strange.
And I also, again, because they brought the actor back as Jay Garrick from Earth 3, I think it was, again, it's all these ones in the lower half are kind of the ones that kind of didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's not really dead. The
I
body's
could
still
see
there.
that. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So number 4 was Kilgrave in Jessica Jones,
Okay.
which I thought was a really good choice, if nothing else, to kill him, to have him die instead of keeping him around.
I remember during our review, I don't mind his death, but I felt like his death, like it wasn't enough of a punishment for him to die. You know,
It
I
seemed
I
a
think I
little-
suggested they rip out his tongue
That was good. It's
Yeah.
like it was a little too clean, and he didn't suffer enough
for all his past
for
crimes.
what he did. And I get it; he had to kill him, but I really love this villain, and I'm kind of sad. And we do say like the MCU doesn't kill anybody. Well, here's a case where they actually did kill an amazing villain.
Although they've also already confirmed that David Tennant's coming back for season 2. So,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
So well,
What?
they said that
Flashback?
it's either going to be flashbacks or like her hallucinations dealing with the
it could
PTSD
be.
from having killed him.
Oh, I
So
like
it's not
that.
necessarily that the
Either
character's
would
coming back to life, but he will be back in the season.
I love it. Great.
I would prefer the hallucination where he's like egging her on here at certain moments, and she has to like nods. Oh, that would be really cool. That would be great. Wow, that's even more vicious and evil. Come back from beyond the dead and fuck with you. Love it.
Torture her. Okay, where were we? So in number 3 was Laurel Lance, which I was actually surprised that was that high.
Yeah, she's such a hated character.
I know.
Well, they teased this thing all season, and I enjoyed that. We early on, I kind of figured it was a Lance. We kind of knew it was a Lance. We just didn't know which one.
I was all over the place. I don't speak for me. I didn't know who the fuck was gonna die.
I was sure it was going to be Detective Lance. I did not think.
I
never even considered anyone else.
Okay.
We thought Diggle early, but then as the show went on, I'm like, it's got to be a Lance. But I don't know. That was a good. I didn't. When they started getting her and Oliver kind of to reconcile, and it was kind of like they were going to get back together. That part got me. I should have seen the death coming. Literally, like the next fucking episode.
Yeah.
So all right, that's a good. In number 3, is that number 3?
That's number 3. So that means that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are in the top 2 slots.
Jesus
God damn it,
Christ.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. All right, so you got Grant Ward and you got Lincoln. Ugh.
All right, who's number 2?
Number 2 was Grant Ward, which is I just need to clarify because I think a couple people were tweeting about this that it's not not the death of Hive, it's the death of Grant Ward back on the planet.
Of Coulson
on Mavis.
On Mavis. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I was groaning. Yeah, I was groaning because Lincoln is number 1.
I don't know why people liked Lincoln. I really could not stand Lincoln the whole season, and I was happy that they took him out.
I felt like it was. I mean, I liked that like the scene was like mirroring like Captain America and that sort of stuff, but like other than that, it was like, bye Lincoln, see you never.
Exactly, it was a character that like they've kind of just he was on the show, but he really, other than banging Daisy, what did he really do? And like, and then he died. Like he was the one to die. I don't know. It just didn't resonate with me. Like at least Grant Ward's death. That's a character that we've like gotten to know and like been on a journey with since the beginning. And then he dies, and that one I could have seen being number 1 in that Lincoln.
It was
Grant
also
would've
like
been-
a really personal death, Grant
Right.
Ward, with
Yeah.
the way that Coulson did it himself, literally with his own hand, or I
Right.
guess not with his own hand, but you know
With
what I mean.
some other one, some
other
made up, some other hand.
All right, whatever. You know what I mean.
No,
But
I know.
the,
I'm fucking with
I
you.
mean, we met what we've known Ward since the beginning of the show. What an amazing performance of this guy to play the different
Yeah,
versions.
a character that went from like Grant Ward is just the most boring hero ever to like one of the more interesting characters ever on this on a comic book TV show. So
Yeah.
And I just never bought Lincoln and Daisy's relationship. Like that's why I didn't care. I couldn't. I never got into that character. So
It felt like one of those like, well, we're the two hottest single people of the same
was.
age in this room. You know,
absolutely. Let's pair them up. You guys there. You guys
Yeah.
match.
yeah,
like I felt a lot more about the relationship between Yo-Yo and
And Mac.
that was a
Mac,
lot, and that was a lot more subtle too, and it was like
Yes.
built over really
Yes.
well because it was just subtle hints of like nice little sexual tension.
Absolutely. That was great.
Exactly.
Whereas Lincoln and Daisy, like they would just make out every time they met. You're like, what are you doing? Why? Like, how do you like this guy?
And he also like when he had to like go on the run at one like halfway through the season, it
Yeah.
just felt like we were being pulled away from much more important things that I like really cared about, and instead of just watching Lincoln like picking up new cell phones or whatever.
Yeah. True.
Anyway,
Okay, next one. That
all
was
right, next one. So this was the biggest bad, so the best villain.
Yeah.
I thought this was a really good category, and another one that was really close. So the nominees were
Word.
Negan,
Negan.
Hive,
That's my Negan. Sorry.
Kilgrave, Zoom, and Damien Dark.
Negan,
one.
Hive, Kilgrave, Zoom, Damien Dark. That's quite a group of baddies here.
Ooh, I'm interested to see how this one turns out.
You know, it's very interesting because
I got a prediction. Hive is going to win. No,
yeah, you're probably right. But you know what? Like Negan is the one we've seen the least out of all these. So this could be interesting. Who's coming in last, David? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So in last place,
Oh.
Wait. Okay, start over.
Start over.
That was it. Got all.
okay. So in last place, and I think he really does deserve it, was Damien Dark.
Okay. Damien yeah.
In fourth place, we had Zoom.
Okay.
Place, and I was surprised he was this high up. It was Negan.
Okay.
All right.
And in second place, by a hair, was Kilgrave, meaning Hive
Fucking
won.
hell. I mean,
Oh.
Hive beats out Kilgrave. Wow. Wow, you got a lot of aces.
All right. I got to say this one is the robbery right now so far because
Yeah.
although like I said, Grant Ward, we've gotten to know his character. Once he becomes Hive, he's no longer Grant Ward. He's just this random alien. So
Right.
I don't take into account Grant Ward's history once he becomes Hive.
That's a good point. We really didn't get to know Hive that much.
Hive is just some alien. Kilgrave's performance, I mean the allegories for like rape and post-traumatic stress and all, and the reasons, like the story of like him just being a child getting whatever he wants, and like if you always gave a child whatever he wanted, he'll never learn like basic common human decency, and like that was Kilgrave's allegory, and like holy fuck, what the hell?
I mean, the one
honestly-
villain outside of Negan who didn't want to destroy the world or a city or take over, and it was just personal and petty. And what an unbelievable motivation for Kilgrave.
And I also think he's one of the best villains we've seen, not just on TV, like in this whole genre. He's one of the best villains we've seen, like not just this year. I don't think Hive really stands up to him. So again, I think this is just like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans just flocking to it. But this one was really close.
They kind of
And
have.
it was only like a few votes in between.
I mean, and that was the beauty of Kilgrave, was like, how do you fight a guy that you can't even touch, that he could just make you do whatever he wants? And Hive is kind of has similar powers, but Kilgrave's just more. It was just more grounded and more devastating because really, like Luke Cage under his power, the guy can do a lot of damage.
Well, it is an interesting point, though. I hadn't really thought about how their powers are kind of mind control.
Right? They're kind
but
of mind
used
control.
very differently.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll agree. Damien Darkglass is good because that whole season was just very inconsistent. Zoom for me, kind of a letdown by the end of the season.
Yes, I would agree. He started off really
really
strong,
scary. Yes.
and then got not so scary by the end.
I honestly, the episode that put me over the edge was the Kevin Smith one. I just thought that like the thing where he's like at the end, like leading all those metahumans. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Zoom doesn't have it for me anymore.
They kind of dropped the ball. And like Negan, I'm just getting excited for the Negan. Like what you showed me so far was great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan nails his character. But we saw literally 8 minutes of him.
But I do think Negan made a big impression up
Yeah.
until he pissed everyone off by not showing who he killed. But I do think like I think 3 is fine with him. The Kilgrave should have won. That's
Wow.
Yeah,
Agents
he
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
really should have.
continues to dominate. Moving on, David Molofsky.
So the next one was best team up.
okay.
So this was, or just best team. So the nominees were the Alexandrians from Walking Dead,
Okay.
the Secret Warriors on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Okay.
Daredevil and Elektra, Team Arrow and Constantine, and Team Arrow and Team Flash.
All right.
And that's like a big team. All right. Let me tell you, Alexandrians better have come in last. They're fucking useless.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
They were just zombie fodder. Didn't even bother introducing us to most of them because they didn't survive through the season.
Yeah.
Okay, and then who comes in after that?
So number 4 was Arrow and Constantine,
Okay.
which I kind of get. I think we've talked about why Constantine didn't quite work.
I love
Yeah,
that episode, but
It's
I
a
was
fun episode, but yeah, it wasn't particularly memorable.
yeah.
So third place was Team Arrow and Team Flash.
Oh, okay. Huge team up. Got to shafted the third. All right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Number 2 was Daredevil and Elektra.
Okay.
Guess who wins?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. takes it again. I'm kind of tired of saying that.
I'm kind of tired of hearing it.
I see a trend here. Okay, wait. Let's talk about some of these. Team Arrow, Team Flash. That was a fun. That was a lot of people because at that point you had the Hawk people were around. Like this was kind of like leading into Legends of Tomorrow over on the Flash. So that was exciting.
That was a fun one. I thought that was all right.
Yeah. Daredevil and Elektra, just fun to see them on screen fucking fighting ninjas.
And like the kind of like the sexual tension while they're fighting was kind of good.
Really well, a good addition to that whole season because
I got a rag on this one too. Secret Warriors being number 1, not just because it's S.H.I.E.L.D. and this is a common thread, but like Secret Warriors wasn't all that cool for me. They had built it up throughout the whole season. There was a lot of ads where like this is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Secret Warriors. I don't know. It just kind of fell flat. Like more than half of those characters are made up. Like I don't even know who they are. Like Yo-Yo is she someone that I'm supposed to know? Lincoln's character.
I think Yo-Yo is in the comic books.
But like and the other guy, I don't even know the other guy's name.
There was Joey Gutierrez, the Melty Man, but also they were only like a team in that one episode at the beginning in that one moment where they bust through the wall, and then it all fell apart, and then they all got sent away. So it was a very loose team. You're right, Anthony. They all in between seasons were like Secret Warriors, Secret Warriors. There's like one episode with them in there. They barely touched the Secret Warriors.
I mean, I gotta say, my vote for this one was Daredevil and Elektra. Like, as a huge Daredevil fan, it was just great to see them like fighting back to back and all that stuff. And like seeing the Secret Warriors, it's like you said, it was sort of like that's it.
Yeah. Yep,
Wow,
I got
the fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. domination.
The fans of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
All right, let's get to the next one where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wins again.
I
don't know. I don't know the results yet.
All right, so the next one's the most kick-ass lady.
Okay.
So
okay.
I mentioned we don't want to do these categories best actress or whatever. This is literally our criteria here is who kicked the most ass.
Okay.
Good criteria for the genre television.
Because usually this devolves into who's the hottest. All right.
Yeah. Which Honestly, I think this one may have.
Yeah, probably. I mean, where you've got a bunch of comic book nerds that don't get laid voting on shit. All right, go ahead.
But in fairness, biggest damn male hero, which we'll get to in a few minutes.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
That one had that one was really interesting.
All right.
So nominees were Daisy, Linda May, Peggy Carter, Jessica Jones, Supergirl, and Elektra.
All right.
Those are all badass women.
Badass women.
This can be a tough one for me to even figure out. All right, who came in last there?
In last place was Elektra, which I was surprised by.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I think she gets the least screen time out of all these characters, also, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
In fifth place, we had Supergirl.
All right.
Okay.
Which I was expecting to be low because she doesn't really take names in the same way.
She's not a bad. She's more of a wholesome, cute Supergirl instead of a badass. Unless only in that Red Kryptonite episode where she was just a bitch. That was great.
Yeah. So number 4, who I expected to be higher up, was Jessica Jones.
Oh, really? Okay.
Netflix is just not getting any first place love.
Yeah,
all right.
people are not watching this.
Number 3 was Peggy Carter.
Oh boy, and guess who's left? Okay.
Which
I know who's all really gonna win this fucking thing. Okay, go on.
Number 2 was Melinda May. Number 1 was Daisy.
Yes, of course, Daisy. We're taking another one. Best costume and most badass.
I mean, if we're going by the theory of what's the most watched, it's again Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Daisy's like positioned as like the lead of that show.
Yeah.
And she's very good looking. She's from Chicago, by the way, Imran.
Oh, she is, Chloe?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's like half Chinese, half white. She's kind of like me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Chloe Benet.
And I Miss Marvel. Okay. Look, May was May. Do you know that Ming-Na Wen is like 50? She looks amazing. Holy crap. I would have given it to her for being badass. And then Agent Carter, badass. Of course, a different kind of badass.
I feel like Jessica Jones should have won though, because she was one of the most like street most like real fights, you know?
And she was like she had that carefree, like I don't give a fuck attitude the entire season. She was actually a legit badass.
Yeah, she is the definition of a legit badass. Now
she was fucking Luke Cage and not giving a fuck.
Then breaking beds and like I guess if more people, this might be just the fact that maybe a lot of people didn't watch the Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I think that maybe have been a big part of it, just because like I've gone through some of the numbers on some of these other ones and everything. It seems like Jessica Jones, a lot of people just didn't catch it yet, and I've been just like speaking to people. A lot of people are just now catching up on it.
Yeah,
so I think that's probably part of it too.
If you look at like name recognition, like Jessica Jones is not a name like even like on the level of Daredevil or like on even like, you know, Captain America, Iron Man. Like no one knows who Jessica Jones is. Like so if you're not a hardcore fan, you're not going to know that that's part of the Marvel MCU and something you should be watching.
If you just see it on written down on the page, you may think it's like a chick rom-com TV show called Jessica Jones about like an Ally McBeal lawyer or some shit.
But then if you read the description, it sounds really dark, and I feel like that might turn people off too.
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
It's a female audience, and you know, do they really want to watch a show that's all about like essentially rape and like dealing with that?
That's a good point.
You're right. That's a very good point.
However, it was still really successful, and they're still doing a season 2. So
yeah,
there you go.
And
that shows you the barometers for success in like Netflix, and then a barometer for success on like you don't need to be as successful in comparison to being on network TV to have a ton of support behind you. Like at Netflix, they don't measure success the way TV does.
Yeah, there's no ratings. We don't know what the ratings are. You don't really
as long as people are keeping their subscriptions and
exactly as long as their subs go up. Yep.
They also don't. They've never released what their criteria is for what makes one of their shows a success.
Yeah. They're all successful. All right, next category, David.
All right, so this one was a big upset.
So
this was best duo. This was another new category we threw in this year. So yesterday afternoon at work, I took down the final numbers at noon, and then I gave Celia just told her like I've gotten all the winners. There's still a few hours left on the voting. If any of the numbers change, that's fine. But if any of the winners change, that's the only thing I want you to tell me.
Okay.
I was confident that none of the winners would change within the 10 hours from when I finalized the numbers and when she closed the voting for real. This one, by 150 votes, swung up.
Wait,
in
hold on
that
one
time.
second. I gotta. Sorry, a call came through and start again where you said this one and 100%. Just that last sentence. There was some.
So for this category, we had 150 votes come in the last minute, literally at the last minute.
Okay.
An extra 150 votes pushed this one into the lead, and this was at the very end. It was still a very close race. So I'm going to read the nominees.
Somebody was stuffing the ballot at the end. What's going on?
Best
Yeah.
duo.
Best duo.
Okay.
So we had Fitzsimmons,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural,
Don't watch it.
Okay.
Peggy and Jarvis from Agent Carter, Jessica Jones and Trish from Jessica Jones, and the Doctor and Clara from Doctor Who.
Is a
All right.
Doctor Who in there? Interesting nominees. All right, David. What happened? Who came in last?
So I'm going to tell you the numbers on these so on this one and the next one, because the numbers I think really speak to what's going on here. So in 5th place with 14 votes was the Doctor and Clara,
Okay.
which I totally agree with. I think they were a really shit pair this year. She just does nothing. Like, I don't like him as the Doctor. I don't like her as a companion. There was just nothing.
This is the first time ever we've gotten Doctor Who analysis. Thank you, David Molofsky. We are now placating the Doctor Who fans that listen to our show and are like, why the fuck don't you talk about Doctor Who? Thank you, David.
Jordan Radford loves Doctor Who, and he'll talk in the post show. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
No, it's
Like, if
good.
you want
He's
good Doctor Who,
authority.
start with Christopher Eccleston and then watch the David Tennant. That's the best Doctor Who. But
Okay.
if that's the only thing we're gonna have on the show about Doctor Who, that's what you need to say. That's all.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So in 4th place with 20 votes, we had Jessica Jones and Trish.
Okay.
Okay.
In 3rd place with 30 votes, we had Peggy and Jarvis from Agent Carter.
Okay.
So number 3 has 30 votes.
Okay.
In 2nd place with 435 votes
Oh shit!
was Sam and Dean Winchester.
Wow.
And the one that pulled it up from behind was Fitzsimmons with a total of 500 votes.
Oh, he just a shielding it. Why the huge discrepancy? There was like a battle between Sam and Dean and Fitzsimmons.
Tell us about Sam and Dean
Yeah.
from Supernatural. because
So-
we're not fans.
Supernatural, I actually really like it. But so Sam and Dean are basically brothers, and they hunt demons and other supernatural things like ghosts and whatever around the U.S. They drive around in their car. That's what they do. That's the show. It's really funny. It's really clever. It's got a lot of the same vibes as like Buffy and Angel when they first started out.
Okay.
And the two actors and the third one, which is Castiel, is to make the trio. The three of them have a really good on-screen chemistry, and they have a really good off-screen chemistry.
Oh.
So just like Stephen Amell does a lot of those like Facebook chats, and he's like really active in the fan community, these three are also like really active in the fan community. And there's a lot of like memes of the three of them like talking at cons and things like that, and they're really, really popular, and they're also really good-looking men. So I think that has a lot to do with their popularity.
Well, how many seasons is this in Supernatural? Because I'm surprised it's still on, but people love it.
Yeah, they're in season 11.
11! Holy shit!
So basically what they did is they mapped out the show through season 5,
Yeah.
and the end of season 5 is like the whole series until that point had been leading up to the end of season 5. And then they didn't end because the show was so popular. And so it just kept going, and it's going to get season 12. It's been going on for a really long time.
Yeah, man. 12. Wow, that's amazing. They can sustain this for 11 seasons.
So the follow-up question would be: those two guys, Sam and Dean, should have won, in your opinion? Because you're the guy that's watched both of these shows.
Yeah. I haven't watched this season, so just going from I watched like season 7. I'm just haven't caught up. From what I've seen in the past, yeah, they absolutely should have won because they are a really good duo together. That said, I think that Fitzsimmons finally came into their own this season, and that they actually did deserve at least number 2, if not number 1.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this was actually something that could be debated.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that like it was literally like the 11th hour when the voting.
Wow, some of there was a race. Having not watched Supernatural, I kind of feel like this is the one case where they kind of deserve to take the top spot. What a cute couple. You're always rooting for them. The will they, won't they get together, and what they've been through, near death, going on different planets, coming back. And Fitz like almost coming back from brain damage. An amazing journey. So they are a great duo.
This is also the first season where one of them wasn't like basically left with their fate unknown.
And they finally got to shag. Pretty hot. During a mission, which I thought was even hotter. They're like, let's just take a break in this mission and hit the bed. Okay, that was interesting numbers. We got 3 left. Let's continue.
3 left. So biggest male hero or biggest damn male hero.
This is the one we were hyping just a couple categories ago.
Yeah, this is like
This
this was
ladies.
yeah, this is the one that's absolutely for the ladies. So the nominees were Fitz, Barry Allen, Lincoln, Matt Murdock, and the Winchester brothers as a single.
As a single hunky, gorgeous entity.
You can't really take one out of the other. Like, you put the two to the vote, it would just be too much.
Okay. So who came in last? Tell me it's Lincoln, for fuck's sake.
So last place, and I'm going to tell you the numbers on this one again because the numbers are crazy. In last place was Barry Allen with 21 votes.
Whoa, what?
As your biggest damn male hero.
Yeah.
That show's so popular. All right, go ahead.
Lincoln was number 4 with 41 votes.
Okay.
Right. At least he's down near the bottom.
A little bit of redemption.
Number 3 was Matt Murdock with 51 votes.
Okay.
Right.
Number 2 was Fitz with 338 votes.
Holy shit.
So again, just a total leap up. Like in most of the other categories, they were pretty even. These were the 2 where it was just all over the place. So in first place with 1,642 votes and 25% of the overall votes, like of all the votes we got this year, was the Winchester brothers for biggest damn male hero.
And Lincoln comes in second? Above
Leo Fitz.
Oh, Fitz is second. Okay.
I got to push for I wish Barry Allen and Matt Murdock got a little more votes, a little more love.
I mean, I don't know what kind of heroing the Winchester brothers do, but it's just it must have been
apparently a lot of it because they got.
But the discrepancy is amazing. Like, so you have 11 years of Supernatural fans, but like this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. suddenly seemed to have picked up some momentum.
Yeah, this make you like think about, man, we should have had more Supernatural stuff in the categories.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, I haven't watched this season, and I've heard it's been a bit up and down as a season as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think honestly, so these 2 categories did really well when we posted them on Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they really shot up, because the Supernatural community on Tumblr is crazy.
Strong.
So that's pretty much like we were getting tweets like every day for a week. We were seeing people tweeting over and over, vote for the Winchesters, vote for the Winchesters. So
okay.
I have no interest in watching this show, but that's interesting.
It's really good, Imran. I actually would recommend it.
But there's 11 years of it now.
Watch the first 5 seasons. You don't have to watch any more after that.
Okay. All right.
I think it's all on Netflix too.
Right on. Well, yeah, now they're going to get all the CW shows on the Netflix in the future, which is crazy. Okay, we're coming down
to the
top
big ones.
Big categories.
So the next category was Best New Series, and this is the only category that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was not nominated for.
Yes, because it's not a new series. That's
We
right.
know that they will not win.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So
these are all first one season.
Unless
roles.
there's write-ins.
Somebody wrote it in.
So we had Jessica Jones, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Lucifer.
All
right.
first seasons, new shows. This is interesting. I started watching Lucifer and I never finished it. I heard that it got kind of good towards the end. No,
I have to say the only one of these shows that I've watched all the way through the season is Jessica Jones.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the Lucifer comics, and the show is so different that I just couldn't handle it.
Not the same Lucifer Morningstar from Vertigo at all. It's just this other smarmy fucking asshole who can play the piano. So, all right, fourth place.
All right.
What do we got?
Legends of Tomorrow was actually in fourth place.
All right.
Followed closely by Supergirl. Lucifer took second, and Jessica Jones by a wide margin took first place.
Finally, Jessica Jones gets some love.
That's his. I like this pick.
I haven't watched Lucifer, but just from judging what you just said, David Molofsky, Jessica Jones should have won this by a fucking wide ass margin.
Absolutely.
I mean, hands down. It's
out of these four.
It's like I said, the other three shows, like I kind of lost interest. Like I didn't keep up with Supergirl.
I agree.
Much longer after the season break, and Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, I will catch up with both of them, but I mean, after the Future Ollie episode, I was just like, I'm just gonna put it aside until I can just watch it all because it just wasn't. I just didn't have that need to watch it every week.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
Legends of Tomorrow, especially. Yeah, I mean, Supergirl, I stopped, but Legends of Tomorrow, if it wasn't for this show, I would have stopped watching Legends of Tomorrow too.
Yeah, for us, Legends was kind of like we're still, going, and I felt like by the end of the season, it started to get better. They, they got rid of the Hawk people, which was like the best things. Supergirl for me was a casual watch. Like I'd watch it when I have time. I wasn't really any need. By the end of it, I kind of enjoyed the whole universe they build. And then, like I said, Lucifer, I watched maybe the first 4 episodes, and then just kind of dropped it. And of course, we binged through Jessica Jones because how can you not? So, okay, good results for this group. I like it. Now, drum roll. I don't have a drum roll, but we'll get down to the final biggest category. David, hit us with.
Biggest category was best season overall. So all 14 shows were eligible, but we did narrow it down.
Oh shit!
We
Really?
didn't vote on all of them. We, as writers, my writers all nominated, and we sort of took the top ones from that.
Okay.
So I will say, first of all, Gotham didn't get a single nomination this year.
Good.
Like no one wanted to give it any. Like even from my writers, no one.
You want to know? You want to know something funny about Gotham?
Yeah.
Imran will rate it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it 8, but I won't admit to watching it. That's all. It's the show that people.
No, Imran just can't give a bad score to save his life.
All right.
Yeah.
So the top 5 nominees for this year were Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Okay.
The Walking Dead,
Okay.
Jessica Jones, Flash, and Daredevil.
All right. All good top 5s.
All right.
I would say these are the shows that definitely kept the majority of our interest on a week-to-week basis and got us enraged or excited, from week to week based on what happened. So I like this grouping.
So in 5th place was The Walking Dead.
All right. I could see that.
I'll allow it.
Considering the demographic for our site, like we're much more targeted towards superheroes, so that's probably most of it.
I'll say this, and you don't watch The Walking Dead, right?
No, I don't.
This season has been not as good in comparison to The Walking Dead in the past. So fifth is a not so bad spot for this.
Uneven season. I mean, it had really good shit, and then really like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, the swerve at the end is just killed everything.
It's annoying. Okay, number 4.
Number 4 was Jessica Jones.
Okay.
No.
And
all right, go ahead.
Right above it at number 3 was Daredevil.
Man, the Netflix not getting any love on this one.
And Anthony, I'm really sorry, but number 2 was Flash.
Guess what wins?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. won.
Whew. Season 3, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. taking
If you could see me right now, I have my hand covering my face because This is just awful.
So for those of you keeping score at home, we had 13 categories. Agents of
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. was nominated in 12 of them and won 11.
Man, it went 11 for 12. This is like the year in the Oscars, like when when Titanic came out, and people were like, you know what? Let's just go home. We're not winning shit this year.
All right, this one is by far the worst. I'm sorry. I said this about previous ones, but there's some of these that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have won because it's not. It's you know the categories are fun, so individual moments, characters maybe, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not the best overall season, especially out of those 5. No. You could have made the argument for Jessica Jones or Daredevil.
Yeah,
I honestly, Flash. Even Flash. I would have put Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 5th out of those 5.
Look, what if last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a 5 and this year was a 7? I would still say Flash last year and this year was an 8. You know, it's like even if it doesn't change, but I think that change between in quality is why so many people voted for it, because it did get that much better. So you're noticing it more. Whereas with Flash, it's just as good as it's always been.
That's interesting that like these votes are kind of showing you the progress of the show and the fans' reaction year to year. Honestly, I'd give Daredevil season 2. That would have been my top pick for best overall season.
I would have gone Jessica Jones season 1.
It's close with Jessica Jones.
What would you have gone, David?
I probably would have gun to my head. I probably would have said Jessica Jones, just because I think that was the one, especially when I did reach the point where I was marathoning like Flash and S.H.I.E.L.D. Jessica Jones was the one that I watched the fastest. You know, it kept me hooked. It kept me watching. I didn't want to let it go. You know, like even with Daredevil, I slowed down towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, like Jessica Jones had. I said this before, but the allegories and the themes for PTSD and rape and trauma and all that stuff. I mean, it was more than just popcorn viewing. You know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the end of the day is pretty much popcorn viewing. You know, there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot beyond the surface of what's going on there.
It's not even that. I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just a weekly reminder that yes, the MCU is putting out more content, and yes, there are bigger movies coming out soon.
Very good point. Very good point. And I'm not as high on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as you were, David. I probably would have given this season like a 5 because for me I've been getting tired of the weekly reminder that we're in Marvel, but we're not really in Marvel. We can't use any of the characters. So. Ooh, this one's a rough one. But this is an interesting study on just how much reach Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has with fans.
Yeah.
You know, and how many people are watching?
I also think we got Brett Dalton did retweet one of the categories as well, and I think
that's cool.
It did do really well when we posted it on Tumblr. So I think a lot of it just has to do with the fan community just being a really powerful community. Whereas I don't think you could say the same about the Jessica Jones fan community or even the Flash fan community.
I would have thought the Flash fan community, because that one show does really well here in the States on ratings. I would have thought that one would have been not maybe as big, but comparable enough to get enough votes. But
yeah, I mean, it's really popular over here too. But I found that that's the show that's the most popular with people that I would say probably wouldn't read my website. It's very popular with the casual fans. Okay. So that's probably what I'm getting at with the fan community not being as strong, that there are a lot of fans, but whether or not they're actually geeky enough to be in the community.
I'm surprised that the geeky fans, the super ones that read your site, are into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't really use they make up characters. They don't have the full, if you're knowledgeable, that they can't use all these characters. So I don't know. That's interesting to me. I feel like that would have been the casual fan, because Flash is just embracing, we have King Shark. We have a lady that can make bumblebees into a body or something shit. They embrace the weird wackiness of comic books.
But I think it's got a much more of an emotional heart to it that I really resonates with people that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. definitely have.
You're right.
I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the one show out of all these that has to make up most of its characters, where all the other shows are pulling straight from the comic book. Did you guys see that one? There was a huge Reddit Arrow community, and at the end of this season of Arrow, they were so disgusted that it is now a Daredevil Reddit community. They were like, fuck it, we're talking about Daredevil now. I was like, oh man, Arrow, you lost the whole Reddit sub.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, Arrow wasn't even in your top 5, and
Did not even make it this year. No, dude, it shouldn't
I was
be.
surprised by, but I mean, I'm a big Arrow fan. I've always been a big Arrow fan. I always will be, but at the same time, it's sort of like now that it came out at a time when there was no saturation, and it's led to the age of saturation, and so it's I think when it's not when you had less to compare it to, it was a lot better, and now that there is so much more to compare it to, whether or not.
But I mean, even this season, and specifically, they tried something different. They gave in a little bit to the internet's obsession with Oliver and Felicity. They tried the magic. Look, it didn't work. Go back to the other shit. And it sounds like with all these, with the putting vigilantes in and all this shit, they are going back to just people fighting.
I got a couple theories on Arrow. I think David Molofsky's point is very valid about saturation now. I also think, just in general, season 2 was the peak, and it's gone down. Like they haven't been able to recapture that magic.
Yep.
I also think Daredevil's hurt Arrow a lot, just because Daredevil is kind of that same kind of grittiness, but Daredevil's action choreography and just the overall show is just Arrow taken on like with steroids, like it's just on another level.
It makes Arrow look amateurish
because it's they're both shot in the dark. It's both characters that are like crime fighters at night that have a lot of issues and have a lot of love interests, but Daredevil's just a better show. It's a way better show.
I also think that like for seasons 1 and 2, the flashbacks worked. Now they are dragging the show down so much, and that's a third of the show if you think about it. That like everyone really doesn't like 1/3 of every episode.
You're right. It was a cool gimmick to start.
Yeah.
But they've just run out of ideas for those flashbacks, and it drags the show.
Yeah. I mean, I think I sent you my idea for what they should do next season, which is basically the first episode is like him just getting dropped back on the island and Amanda Waller going, "See you later," and him go, and then just cut to the day that he gets rescued, and just don't do anything else.
And the flashback. I mean, they're going to show us the last year on the island, and
because he was there 5 years, so this is 5 seasons.
It's so clear that they did not think it ahead, because he's remembering things in real time when stuff is happening that he should have remembered all of this right away. Like what? Like you're just remembering this now, week to week, that you saw this idol. You didn't know this the whole time.
I also have such a big issue with the fact that he cut his hair. Like,
yeah.
It just like for continuity's sake, like how is he gonna like? We've seen how fast his hair grows.
Yeah,
his hair won't grow that big in the next year to where it was when we first saw him.
I mean, he got picked up on the island. He was shaggy as fuck.
Yeah,
that just means the mullet wig will be making another appearance possibly in next season. Yeah, but he looked like he had a big beard. He looked like he was all shaggy. So, I mean, there's wigs and stuff, but we got to suffer through one more year of this flashback. Wow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Well done, Marvel.
Congrats to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, for sweeping
the
up.
Marvel train just keeps chugging along.
Place your hang your cape 2016 TV Awards. David, that's a lot of fun. Now, you had some recommendations for us, too. I don't want to forget about that. We love the recommendations. Let me play a little bit of music, and we'll get to that segment.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
We got to mention that we were trying to get Rugboy on with you because you wanted to meet the Rugs, and look, the scheduling is hard. Didn't work out. You'll get your chance. We'll work it out. He's not going anywhere.
Not worried.
And we always have him with,
Rugboy approved.
He's always here in spirit, and this would be Rugboy approved. So, what do you got recommendations? You wanted to recommend stuff for us, specifically each of the three of us.
Yes, and it's also Small Press Day over here in the UK.
So cool.
These are small press comics that I wanted to give a shout out to. A lot
what
of
happens on Small Press Day there?
It's kind of like it's similar to Free Comic Book Day with a lot of events in comic book stores, and a lot of like small press writers will be featured in comic book stores, and they'll be featured guests, or their books will be on like Markdown or stuff like that. They'll be given more prominence than the Marvel and DC stuff that you usually see at the comic book store.
Cool. I like it. All right. Let's just start with Rugg, since he's not here. What did you have for him?
For Rugboy, I wanted to pick out a really fun comic.
What's up, dudes? I'm here.
That's pretty good.
Terrific.
Rugboy is here.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
He's not here.
Well, Rugboy pops up out of nowhere.
I was just taking a shit.
Sorry, I'm late.
Sorry.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I don't know. I believe he spent an hour and a half taking a shit.
I buy that. It's like he was.
I was sharing sandwiches with the dogs out there.
Oh, his poor slack hole. Okay.
So for rugs, I picked out Samurai Slasher, which is written by Mike Garley, who's a good friend of mine, really big up and coming writer in the industry. So this is a comic that's so it's got, like it says, it's got a samurai in it. It's like this undead samurai. It's written. It's very similar to like 80s slasher films. It's got blood and gore and boobs and everything Rugboy would possibly want. It's also written as an anthology. So there's 2 volumes out now. So the first volume is 4 stories, and it's not like 4 issues that connect. It's like each issue is set like in a different time of the samurai's like myth, I guess.
Oh, cool.
And it sort of jumps around through time and jumps through like all these different like people who kind of get like possessed by the samurai or get like sort of stuff. It's a lot of fun. It basically reads like a 80s slasher film. Like,
with a
really
crazy samurai. That's awesome. I'm looking at I think this is the cover art on their website here. It looks nice. Nice work here.
Yeah. He's got a lot of I think each issue with each story within each comic has a different artist on it. And so there's a lot of different styles in there to really enjoy. And it's also really good, like, introduction to a lot of different people who work in the small press scene.
Right on.
That's cool.
So, Anthony, for you.
All right. Let me get the Google machine fired up.
Let me pull it up because I actually have it here with me. So I picked out Redden.
Okay.
Which is from Dead Canary Comics. They put out a lot of really fun titles, and I think you'd probably like most of them. But
Okay.
Redden's the most recent one. So it's an old Western story, and it's about it's this like supernatural story about like 2 bounty hunters in the Old West, and one of them kind of gets possessed by this like spirit thing called Redden, and he kind of goes on this revenge mission over a few years, and it's sort of basically if you look at the book, one of the back cover quotes is from one of the co-creators of Venom, and that's sort of the best way to explain it. It's sort of like an old Western-y version of Venom.
Ooh, I like that.
Like, it's sort of like the spirit is like whispering in his ear and like encouraging him to do these things, and like he gets these powers from it that are really dark, and it's really interesting, really well drawn.
I'm checking it out. I like the art on here.
You know what's interesting?
This is interesting.
There's a trend of this genre of comics. Have you guys noticed? There's a lot. Look at Preacher. Look at Outcast. There's a bunch of books taking place in the West. East is East, Jonathan Hickman, but like a dystopian Wild West alternate. Sorry, hold on. My fucking phone, when it rings, it rings.
I didn't hear anything.
No, but it's going to be in the recording, so I got to pause. So it's just interesting that this is a very popular genre in comic books and TVs right now. Like Deadwood meets, ghosts and evil demons, and sometimes it's related to mythology and religion. Sometimes it's aliens, but there's always the Wild West aspect. It's
I got a quote that I think would make me like this book. It's on Comixology. It goes, Redden is a comic that deserves your time. It is a gripping tale of brutality in the Old West wrapped in a supernatural shroud of purest evil.
Oh.
It's a pretty good description.
Right on.
Right
on.
I
check that out. But yeah, this is a popular, I don't know what you call the genre, like Magic West or something. I don't know.
Because like if you look at the history of comics, like a lot of like the first comics, like the pulpy ones were all like the Western comics.
Mm-hmm.
Like superheroes replaced cowboys basically.
Right.
Good point.
In the 30s and stuff. So it's almost like it's just swinging back around.
Yeah. It's never really gone anywhere, but it's getting more popular.
The superhero genre in movies is always compared to the Western as if it's going to go away, but that's another discussion for another.
Yeah,
time.
I don't think that's a different. I don't know that. Okay. Anyways, okay. What do you got for me? I'm excited.
So
I'm
for
not,
you,
not for Imran. I'm not excited. For it.
Fuck off. Fuck
Fuck off,
off.
Imran.
I wanted to pick out the craziest one that I've read this year. It's
Ooh, 8 out of 10. You haven't read it.
Give it I already like it. Good pick.
So I wanted to pick a superhero comic. I wanted to pick one that sort of bounces off the walls, makes lots of references. I feel like this one is just perfect for you. It's called Paradox Girl, and it's about a superhero who her power is that she can kind of travel through time and space, like teleport, kind of. But that's not really at all particularly like important in terms of like being a superhero. It's more like she just kind of goes around her regular life, and like she ends up having a lot of time duplicates around because she keeps traveling back in time.
Time remnants.
Yeah, so like in the morning she's like fighting over the last Pop-Tart with her future self, or like, you know, she just keeps on like the whole loops. She creates these paradoxical loops of cause and effect where her future self will do something to her past self that she will then later have to do.
Oh,
so each
fun.
comic follows her in like how she experiences it all.
But from who's so the main? It's from the perspective of like the one main girl, or is it? Does it jump around to the other time versions of her?
No, it tells it from one point of view. So it's like so basically like the first issue is like she wakes up and like there's two of her sitting on the couch watching cartoons, laughing.
Yeah.
And there's another one who's like making a Pop-Tart. It's not like a Pop-Tart, but it's some toaster pastry thing. And it's like, so she then has to go leave, and then she comes back, and then she's one of the ones sitting on the couch, and then she leaves and she comes back and she's one of the ones she's making the toaster shit.
Wow.
And it's like, so it just sort of like you follow that story, and it's like it's really cleverly written, and it's just like the way that it sort of goes around. But then like there's other things about it that I really like, and I think that you would really like, is that like she doesn't have an origin story.
Right.
Like she gets asked her origin. She's like, I don't know. It's been so many different things. I've traveled back in time so many different times. I don't even remember which one's real. And then the second issue is called Paradox Girl versus a Wolverine. But if you one of the covers, it's like, you know, with Wolverine claws, like it looks like, you know, Wolverine's classic 3 claw marks pulled down. But it's like basically there's a Wolverine in her house and she has to get rid of it.
It's just an actual Wolverine.
It's really funny, and just like it's very you, Imran.
I love it. I see panels here where there's just like there's in an aisle at a grocery store. There's like 30 of her just scrambling and fighting.
She's fucked with the timeline so much.
Yes. It reminds me of a bunch of things. It reminds me of the science fiction movie Primer. I don't know if you've ever seen Primer.
Yeah.
Where it like once you watch the movie the first time, when you watch it again, you realize that you were watching parts of the movie later in the beginning, but you didn't know it. And then it comes back to that part, and you're like, oh, that was them standing there in the beginning of the movie.
I saw a map of it on Wikipedia.
It's a mind fuck.
There's, I think, 37 different timelines
that
we see. Not to mention others that like are created, and it's just like that movie's crazy.
So it seems like it's kind of like this, like every choice you make splits off, and you have to come back and reconcile things, maybe.
Sort of. I mean, it's
a bit more time travel.
It's a bit more just like kind of having fun with the concept of time travel, but it's still just one timeline. So you know, even though you'll see her in a second place in the same panel, you'll still see her journey to that point, and then swings back around.
That's great.
Oh, that's great. I like that too.
That already makes my head hurt. So that's wonderful.
But it's done in like a really clear way, though. It's great
that you can actually, because if you could do that and make it easy for people to follow, like that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, because when you think about Terminator, you just want to shoot yourself.
You need to have this planned out at the end all the way first. Otherwise, you're gonna trip up over yourself. The other thing, this panel with a bunch of people reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have been watching Preacher, but the last episode had this great, crazy fight scene where it was Jesse and the 2 angels. So the angels in the show, if you kill them, they just show up again. They just, boom, they zap, they come out, but the body is still there. So it's Jesse and these 2 angels fighting this 3rd Seraphim angel. It's a really long fight scene. And they just they keep killing them, and they zap back, and they come in again, and then they get killed, and they get zapped, and they're trying not to kill the Seraphim. They're trying to restrain her because she just keeps coming back. So it cuts back, and there's just a fucking mountain pile of all these angel bodies, and the fight's still going on with Cassidy. It's a lot of fun. That was really well done. And it reminded me of that. Not so much time travel, but just more weird supernatural shit. David, thanks for these. These are great recommendations, man. Listener, I'll put these in the show notes. Check them out.
Definitely. Thank you. Especially tailoring them to each of our personalities. I like that.
I love it. And we'll good for plugging the small press out there. And really, this is stuff that we probably wouldn't have stumbled on had you not, it's the kind of thing where you got to pass it around.
I also want to say, like, the first two that I recommended, so Mike Garley has done a lot. I've written a lot. Another one was called The Kill Screen, which is like a zombie kind of thing that's really good. And also Dead Canary Comics has put out a lot. So if you like the ones that I recommended, go check out the other things that those guys have put out.
Nice.
Right on. Well done. That's why you have a place to hang your cape, D. Look, let's we'll play a little sweeper. We'll give out our final plugs and wrap it up here. Jock and Nerd, David Molofsky, editor and cape of A Place to Hang Your Cape. Why don't you tell the listener, first of all, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
For putting this together. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for like doing it live on our show. Well, not live, but 3 to 4 days after this is recorded out on our show. Because this is exclusive.
Because the results haven't been posted as of this recording, correct?
That's correct. We will be posting them on Monday, I think, and we'll be embedding the podcast in the article, and we'll.
Right on. Yeah, and I will get this over to you once it goes out. That's awesome. We got an exclusive for the live, but it'll be a nice companion piece to the award things. Thanks for coming by. Why don't you tell the listener where they can find you and what you want them to check out?
So A Place to Hang Your Cape is at ap2hyc.com. You can find tons of articles there. We have, I think, 4 or 5 going up every day. They're awesome. A lot of them are like reviews and listicles and humor pieces and just lots of fun stuff about comics and superheroes. So we're AP2HYC on Facebook, Instagram.
The number 2.
The number two. AP, the number 2 HYC.
Yeah. So
I don't want people to get confused.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So wait, let me go back from the top.
Did I fuck you up?
On Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. And then we are AP2HY Cape on YouTube. And we have some fun YouTube videos up as well. And then you can find me on Twitter at AP2HYC_David.
Nice.
Excellent. I also want to mention that we the Jock and Nerd podcast and A Place to Hang Your Cape are both have a little support page on Patreon. And I wanted to thank you personally, first time. Thanks for supporting the show.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you.
And I believe we are returning in kind. It's kind of like we're supporting each other. But if you guys want to check that out, you support us. You get a bunch of bonus audio. Just go to jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And David, where is your guys' Patreon at?
Hang on. Let me. I'm getting some feedback.
Uh-oh. He's getting all choppy.
Uh-oh.
Here, let me just refresh the
And he's frozen. Hold on. Hold, please.
page.
Do. I'll have a kazoo. That's an original. It's an original nerd tune. I just wrote that. Exclusive. Just for you guys right here. In the blab.
None of this is going on.
No,
the show.
I'm going to cut all this out. But if you guys are watching in the blab, this is the Jock and Nerd podcast. Thanks. Subscribe. Just waiting for David to come back right at the end so we can finish it up. Man, blab is a little glitchy more and more.
Yeah, blab sucks.
Oh, yeah.
After the show is over, I gotta eat.
Yeah, I got a jet too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask him about what he thought about the Brexit a little bit for a second.
Hey.
Okay. Wow, that's better. You look better.
Yeah.
The stream looks better.
Wow, you look refreshed.
What, did you just take a shower or something? Did you have a beard before? I don't remember. So let's go back to where can your fans support you on Patreon, David Malone?
Yes. So it's patreon.com/ap2hyc or ap2hyc.com/Patreon, both the same. We're going to be ramping up some of the content on there in the coming months. We're coming up with some fun new stuff.
Nice.
What's a fun reward someone would get if they back you there?
At the moment, it's you get exclusive access to some of our videos.
Right on.
And in the future, we're going to be doing talking about doing some like online pub quizzes, but like digital pub quizzes. So it's going to be kind of fun.
Check all that stuff out, listener. If you want to support some of the geekiness around here, it's all in the show notes at jockandnerd.com. Anthony, what else should they do?
Well, if you want to contact us, go to jockandnerd.com/contact. We're on Facebook, Twitter, email. I think we have a fucking phone line, which no one calls.
There's a voicemail line and a Facebook group. We want to hear from you guys. Join the conversation. Let us know what you think.
Right. And if you want to support the show besides Patreon, you can buy our merch, jockandnerd.com. Was it /merchandise? I don't fucking know. Shop. There we go.
Just shop.
I bought from our site and I don't even know where it's
how to get there.
But then, but the other thing you can do is go on to jockandnerd.com/review, write us a nice rating or write us a nice review, give us an awesome rating, because if you like this show, that only promotes us up the iTunes page. Or if you're listening on Stitcher, you can do the same.
Thank you if you've already left a review. We have great reviews on our iTunes page. I love reading them over and over again every now and then. Look, listener, basically just visit jockandnerd.com. That's the most important URL.
Catch all.
You should know everything is there. And so tell a friend is what we tell everyone at the end of the show. Word of mouth is one of the best ways to spread around a podcast or grow the audience. We're trying to grow this empire of stupidity. So what I want you to do is run up to the next person you see walking their dog and give him one of these. Jock and Nerd. And hope that the dog doesn't bite you. I don't know why I went with the dog. That's because I have my foster doggy sitting here. He's been a good boy in here the whole time.
Is that the puppy?
Yeah, he's a dude. He's a puppy, but he's gotten longer. He's a big sausage dog. Like you can literally, we've seen him grow. His name was Camo. His name is now Texas. Also, he has a new name. So
what? All right, whatever.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We love you guys. David, thanks so much for hopping on all the way from the UK. This has been the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
Yeah, it's been great.
And my name's Anthony.
And
that guy's David.
And that's David. And he's the Jock.
And I'm the nerd.
And whatever. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Jock and Nerd. All right, D, we don't have a lot of time here because I know I don't want to take up more of your night, but I wanted to ask you your thoughts just real quick. As an expat, as an American living in the UK, what is your perspective on this Brexit thing?
It's
kind of a loaded question, but
I mean, so I didn't get to vote.
Okay, that was my first question, right? Yeah.
But I would have voted stay. Okay. I think that it's not a good thing that we left. It's basically, it's all driven by the right wing, and every promise that they've made is already fallen through. Like the day that it came through, it's just like, basically it's a whole bunch of racists saying we don't want any more immigrants in, but that's leaving the EU isn't going to stop any of that. And it's got nothing to do with even the kind of immigrants that they want to keep out, or whatever it is they want to do. It's total bullshit, really.
You know, I was so surprised that happened. Why? Because it kind of mimics a certain orange-skinned person here trying to push an agenda, the same kind of vitriol, the same rhetoric. And the fact that one over there, I was like, oh shit. In fact, that guy, what's his name? Boris
Johnson, yeah.
He is like the British Donald Trump. Have you seen this guy's picture?
Have you seen the posters of them making out?
What? They were making out?
It's like some artist drew a poster of them, the two of them, like making out and like destroying the world in the background or something.
Holy shit, they're like the same. They're like doppelgangers. So it's just unnerving that you guys, before we even get a chance to blow our side of the vote by voting that motherfucker, tell me a little bit about that day, the day after. What was the feelings the day it happened?
So I was in France the day it happened.
Oh shit! Oh, you weren't even there. That's right.
So the feeling there was even more negative. It was like we were not so I was there with some friends. So of the four of us, there was an Israeli, a French person, my wife who's British, and me. And we weren't sure if we would all be allowed back in the country when we came back.
That's a good
like we just had no idea what was going on.
Right,
so like
right.
it was just really crazy. And I mean, a lot of what I was seeing was like, how the hell did we let this happen? And like everything about like people were Googling what is the EU after the vote. Like,
that's the funniest shit ever. I felt like people, it was like you got drunk and voted as a country. The next day you woke up and you're like, wait, we did what? Shit.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly how it feels.
This was supposed to be a goof. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. It was like voting for the nerd for homecoming queen, and then he wins.
Yeah.
He fucking wins.
Holy shit.
Now it's things like, so the prime minister stepped down at 8 a.m. Friday morning after the day after the vote. It's just basically like to stall so that, Parliament can decide to ignore the referendum.
Okay.
The referendum is not binding. It's more of an opinion poll, but the EU has already been like, well, we want you guys out now because you voted. So,
wow.
So nothing's actually official. It was just like a poll vote.
Yeah. And
way to go.
Even if we do decide to leave, so there's this thing called Article 50. So it's basically once you press the button and activate Article 50, it's another 2 years before we actually leave the EU.
Okay.
So most likely we won't actually be out of the EU until 2019, but nobody really knows what's going on.
Craziness. All right. Well, that's cool. I just wanted to get your perspective because you're living there, you're seeing this, you're on the ground, and like, will it affect you as an expatriate living there?
Not really, because so my wife's British and that's where my residency
right.
comes from.
Right.
So next year I'll be eligible to be a permanent resident. That process might be a little bit more difficult, but not for because of how I'm going into it, it shouldn't really be much of a problem.
All right, man. We feel you. I mean, I feel like we're going through some crazy shit right now, specifically in this country where if it's not fucking terrorists, it's just cops shooting people, people shooting cops.
Everyone thinks the whole world is falling apart.
Civil war. Hey, Angel. Could there be a civil war and then the election? And then there's still a lot of great things to look forward to this year. The shit show that will be the Olympics. That will be the election. There's going to be a lot of fucked up things still poised to happen in 2016. So everyone hang in there. Strap yourselves in, you fucks.
Spoiler time.
Spoiler time.
I did forget to do one plug. I just wanted to throw it out there that we're doing t-shirts too.
Oh, nice.
We're hoping to have 2, possibly 3 designs by the end of this week. And it'll be at ap2hyc.com/store.
Right on.
Sweet.
Yeah, t-shirts is good. I love I wouldn't mind having one with the little guy with the domino mask and the red hair flowing. Like I kind of love that character that you have on the website. So
that's the one that we're doing now, although I'm adjusting the design that's currently up. And then we have a brand new design based on that character that we're uploading, and then possibly one of our old calendar images we'll be getting up there.
That was kind of a funny moment Angel Hill just put in the comments. I go, the world's going to hell. And I go, hi, Angel. I was actually talking to someone named Angel, not the fact that I was talking to an angel of hell. There's hell angels and heaven angels. Angels on both sides. What's up, Lucifer Morningstar? All right, well, thanks everyone for hanging out. I think I've been to Angel Hill. We were talking about you. We were like, where's
what
Angel
happened to her?
David, I don't know if you noticed, but like the talk is like an Angel. Maybe you can jump in. Blab is dying and shit, and people like there's less people on Blab. Our viewership has gone down.
Blab is dead, bro.
The Blab is dead. The development team's kind of moved on to another app, and they're not really. It's just here now. Like they're not really going to add to it or.
It's a fun platform though.
It is fun, and it's just so easy to jump on and record and see each other. So.
This is a lesson to Imran. Don't jump on the bandwagon and just be like, "Oh my God, Blab's gonna take over the world."
You got to try everything. It's not. This is the first
healthy
step.
Skepticism is all right, man.
Yeah, you should always have healthy skepticism. But I will tell you one thing: audio is not going anywhere. There'll always be a need for audio content, long, short, whatever. So that's the beauty is that we're mostly an audio thing.
I gotta jump out, guys.
All right, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go do some stuff.
Hey, thanks,
too.
David.
Yeah.
Yes, David.
Yeah, thanks, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Everybody, wave bye. I'm gonna kill the recording and play some music. Thanks for hanging out. jockandnerd.com. Here comes the Spider-Man. Jock and Nerd.